Tonight we're going to be talking about family. And I know when I say that, a bunch of you are like, why are you talking about family? Because you need to start thinking about it now. The average age here in MOSAIC is 24, 25 years old. So within 5 years, you are going to be thinking about or looking at a significant other, and you're going to be thinking, what do I do in this situation? Because we're going to get married, we're going to have kids, we're going to populate the world, and everything's going to be great. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have a plan, it's not going to be a good day for you, okay? So tonight we're going to be talking about family, Jill and I. I'm going to go to the now screen. Now is the time, just like I said. Now is the time. I want you to think that now. Think that in your mind. Now. Now I need to start. Now I need to be thinking. Now I know some of you think, man, I got my life planned out for me, but you need to be thinking now. There's a couple of things that we're going to talk about that I'm going to share. I'm going to be transparent because when I was your age, I had a mentor that told me, you need to start preparing, and I didn't. And I wish I had. I wish I had. The first thing I want you to start thinking about is getting out of debt, starting a college fund for your kids, and your retirement. Now, why do you want to think about that? One, already Social Security is going to be 20% less for us. We have no idea what it's going to be like when you get there.
Or if it'll still be there.
Or if it'll still be there. True. You need to be thinking about that. I had a friend, a mentor told me, he said, and I was 21 years old. So how many people here are, let's just say 20 to 24? Raise your hand. 20 to 24. Okay, so you guys were about the age that I was. He told me, he said, Joe, if you take $25 a week and put it in a bank account, by the time you turn 65, you'll have over $1 million. I said, oh, okay. And I took that money and I started doing other stuff with it. I bought cars, I bought motorcycles, got a little townhouse, and I just spent it and blew it on other stuff. $25 is not a whole lot of money. But $25 in an account that you don't touch, you'll have over $1 million. Now, that's if the market don't get crazy and go sideways and all that. But the principle is there. Start thinking about it now. You look at college. It is not a secret that colleges cost a lot of money. In our household, we have 2 children. Our son went to Duke. Our daughter went to North Texas the first time. Okay, and both of those colleges cost lots of money. Now, praise God, our son got a scholarship, and he was able to work his way through school with a little bit that he had to cover. But if we had to come out of pocket with that, it would have been almost impossible. So you need to be thinking about now. What do I need to start doing now to lay the foundation for my future spouse and children? Okay? The next thing I want to look at is we've broken tonight's talk up into sections. I want to talk about the courtship stage first. Now that over there is just two people that have no idea what's going on in life. They just having a good time. They just chilling. And we're what? 23, 21. Yeah, 21, 23 years old. Okay. I had a whole lot of debt. because you see I got that leather on because that's how I roll. I had more bomber jackets than most pilots. I just did. And we went into our courtship phase somewhat in a blind way. We had people that was talking to us, people that were mentoring us, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we wasn't listening. Why? Because we knew I'm young, I got a good job at and Jill had a good job, and we were making money, and we was buying stuff, and everything was looking good, but we weren't preparing. You got to think about preparation. What am I going to do? Again, think about it. $25 is nothing. Most of y'all go to fast food and spend almost that 2 to 3 times a week. But if you take just a little bit of that, put it away, just think, I'm here for the long play. I'm not sprinting through life. I'm going on this long race. Your present mindset creates the foundation for your lifestyle during courtship and the first 5 years of marriage. Your mindset right now is the mindset that you're going to take into your marriage. I tell people all the time, show me your friends, and I'll show you where you'll be in 5 years. Think about the people that you hang out with. You've heard me say this before. You hang out with knuckleheads, in 5 years you're going to be a knucklehead, just 5 years older. If you hang out with people that are thinking about investing, people that are thinking about bettering themselves, then that's a good environment to be in. And we need to make sure that we begin to adjust our thinking now. Now I look around the room and I know we have some people that are going off to college, and some are going off on a mission field, and some have got aspirations to do different things. That still does not negate the fact that one day that young lady's gonna bat them eyes and you're gonna get all excited, or that guy gonna walk in the room and your heart's gonna pound, and it's gonna change the trajectory of your life. And you need to have prepared. Deuteronomy 24, verse 5. Go ahead and read that, Jill. I'm gonna let you jump in there.
When a man takes a new wife, he shall not go out without the army, nor be charged with any duty. He shall be free at home 1 year, and shall give happiness to his wife whom he has taken.
I want you to think about that. Think about that. He shall not go out with the army. He should not do anything but be home free. It says free for 1 year. 1 year. Okay? I want to talk about preparing for that kind of lifestyle, because I'll be totally honest with you. If I could do it all over again, the things that we're going to tell you is what I would do. I would not take the route that I took, because the route that I took, nice cars, clothes, spending money. The first thing I want us to look at, number one, they weren't working. They were just sitting at home chilling, enjoying one another. The second thing was, there has been a lot of preparation. In some cultures, a woman takes time to get all the household appliances and all that kind of dishes and pots and things together and get a hope chest. Yeah, get a hope chest. Go on, tell us about that hope chest.
What? Just in some cultures, girls already have all their stuff to start to make a home. And and this in Deuteronomy, this was the Jewish custom when they got married. So can you imagine if every married person did this? What a difference probably marriages would be if you got a year that you were together and not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Learning about each other.
The ladies got all the dishes, blankets, the sheets, and all that, and the guy's out working hard. And he's saving money. Saving money. Paying off bills, saving money. Why? Because they're going to spend a year together doing nothing but being married. Third thing, the get to know you phase is the first year of marriage, not dating. Ooh, that crushes Western thought. We think we got to date, we got to kick the tires, we got to try this out and look at this person, see if we work together. See, listen, in some cultures, now I'm not saying these prearranged marriages, I ain't with that, but I am with a person who says, I've walked with God, I've prayed, I've listened, and now because people in my life has confirmed what I'm feeling, I believe that, bless you, that I'm supposed to marry this person. This person says yes, and now we know that it's God. So we don't need to do all the other stuff. The whining and dining is after you get married. All the dating and stuff is after you get married. All the money spending is after you get married. There's preparation there. Number 4, Western thought says this: let's put more thought and money into the wedding than into the first few years of marriage. I've been to some weddings where people have gone upwards of 6 digits for a wedding, and they broke going into marriage. I will say this, Jill and I, our parents looked at us and said, you got X amount of dollars for your wedding? And we said, we'll take the money. We had a potluck at the church. We got married in my mama and daddy's living room. We had a couple of people there. You're going to see a picture here in a minute. We said I do there just like we would have in a big old chapel. And we took that money and we went on a honeymoon. And boy, it was glorious. Think about it. Spend more time and thought in one day than you do in the first few years of your marriage. Number 5, think about this. What would be the spiritual and emotional atmosphere of a home where the couple doesn't have to work, there are no bills, and they have all what they need because of preparation? Think about it. Larry Guilford was talking about we should have at least 3 months of finances in a bank so that if something happens, we can cover our bills for 3 months. Just think about this situation here. They had 12 months. Plus, they probably had some extra because I'm sure they just didn't run out at the end and then had to run out and start working. They probably had 14, 15 months. I know it's different thinking. I know it doesn't sound like what we want to do. Because what we want to do is we want to have a big wedding so everybody can come, so we can have that wedding that is bigger and nicer than our friend. We want everybody showing up, and all they gonna do is eat all the food. You're gonna spend $100, $150 per plate. They're gonna get you a $29.99 gift. And that's how you're gonna start your life together, in debt. Think about it. Now, I want to go to the 1 to 5 year. You're going to see a picture here. Look at that couple. Whoo! Whoo! You can even look and see we didn't spend a whole lot of money. Silk flowers. Still got that boutonniere. Still got it. I think we still got that bouquet too,
Yes.
don't we? Yeah, we do. We still got that. She still got the dress. I had to get rid of that tie and suit, though. I had to get rid of that. I couldn't keep it. But that's my mom and dad's living room. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead. You can. Oh, the yellow. No, I'm red. You're yellow.
I knew we'd forget the colors.
We color coded so that.
Oh, we still forgot it.
Yeah, we still forgot. Jill's going to start out with the yellow. I'm going to do red, and then the white. We're just going to have that up there so you guys can read it. If you want to ask questions, we can do that later because we didn't want it to go real long. So we're going to hit high points.
So the lifestyle you create during marriage pre-children must be strengthened. There is a good reason why a couple should wait on having children. What we're meaning in this is it's good to have a couple years together before you have kids because you need to strengthen that marriage because once the kids come, there's going to be less time together. And a lot of times people don't do that. They don't take time during their marriage to strengthen their marriage. And when the kids are gone, there's nothing left. So it's always good to strengthen that and even do the stuff you want to do. You know, like if you want to go and say, go to Europe or whatever, do a lot of those things before you have children because most of the time once you have kids, that's out the window.
Yeah.
Children?
All right, we're going to go to children. We're going to them children. Then them little pumpkins. Yes. Yeah, they cost money.
So Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. What Joe and I felt like this scripture meant was that you need to help your child to find out where their gifts and their interests lie. And then you can kind of help get them in, give them, you know, like say, like our daughter is music. So, you know, like we opened up taking piano lessons, voice lessons. Our son was an athlete, so we got him into sports, got him into, gave him opportunity to excel in soccer. And, you know, got him into, he started playing on travel teams, and then we also paid to have him trained on his own. Luckily, it worked out for us because he did get a scholarship. Doesn't always work out that way. But in doing this, you'll help them find their purpose and their tribe, and they'll be around like-minded people. Also, our daughter was into theater, so we got her into some theater stuff too. Probably back then they didn't have as much as they do now. But we let them figure out where their interests and where their giftings were and help them fulfill that area.
One of the you go ahead and turn. One of the hardest things for guys is to not make a little mini me. We want our son to be just like us, and our son Trey he's a very intelligent young man. But in the beginning, he wanted to, because I had like a graphics business and I used to do design work. And he started getting, you know, his little pad and he would draw and things like that. But later on, we found out that wasn't his gifting. And so we began to channel him into that, you know, into the direction that was best for him. And I'll be honest, there's times when, your child is going in a different direction than what you are skilled in, you have to release them to be with other people, other mentors that can pour into them. Because our son went on to work on Wall Street. I have no idea what he does. I mean, I've been there. He's told me, but I couldn't help him. And so there are times whenever you have to make sure that the path that God has charted for your child is the path that you put them on. Okay? Children need a strong marriage in order to function within the family correctly. It is their foundation. One of the things that we didn't do in the beginning well was, I think we were saying when we were talking through this, that our daughter was probably 11 or 12 years old before we had started dating again. So from the time she was born till about 11 or 12 years old, we were focused on the kids and let us just kind of hang on by a thread. And so that's one reason why, like Jill said earlier, you've got to lay that strong foundation, but you also, even throughout their lives, you've got to go out, you've got to take care of yourself, your relationship. And so it is good to do that. We'll go into our philosophy for parenting. Our philosophy is this: love your child in a way that they will never want to leave home, but train them so they don't have to come back. Okay? That's huge. That is huge. I don't know where we got that from. We might have made it up our own self. I don't know. We might have. But one of the things that we did was we did our best to create an environment where our kids felt accepted and loved, and that we would speak into their lives and strengthen them so that they could go out and be who God has called them to be. And that, I think that goes a long way, in a child's life. And I really believe some of your most successful people, when you talk to them, they'll say, you know what, I had a dad, or I had a grandfather, or I had a mom that really supported me and really, helped push me. And so it's key that we, as parents, we do that. Put my glasses on here. We're going to look at some of the things. One of the things that we did, we put together we call it Pillars of the Harrison Household. These are non-negotiables. Okay, if you live under our roof, this is who we are. Okay, and I really believe that when you start out your family, this is something that you've got to sit down as spouses, and you've got to figure out what are the non-negotiables. What are we going to stand for? Okay, I'm just going to read number 2. It says, we as a united and strong family unit will support, help, and stand for each family member. Okay, we understand that our unity is our strength. We will stand together. We go to games. We support one another. We're on the sideline cheering for one another. We would go, there was some Saturdays, good Lord Jesus. We had a red conversion van, and it had a curtain rod in the back. And there were some Saturdays we'd have anywhere between 5 to 7 different uniforms, because our kids would play soccer. Football. Both of them played soccer. Our son played football. He played baseball. Our daughter was in theater. She played volleyball. Both of them played basketball. And there was a time, I forget when exactly it was, but it was like a 3 to 4 week period where all that crossed over. And I remember we were just throwing kids in the back of the van, ripping clothes off. One of us would be driving, the other would be sitting there throwing food down one mouth and putting clothes on the other. And no, that's not the right uniform. You're going to baseball. And then you take that off, put that on. But we always went together whenever it was possible. We always was there. We always supported one another. And I think that that's just key. One of the keys to really the strength, I believe, of our family. Number 5 says, we will not allow ourselves to take in more of the world than we take in of the Word of God. When our kids were growing up, the internet was different. Okay?
It's just starting.
Yeah, it basically was just starting. And I remember we had one computer, and it was in the living room. So I could watch TV, watch the computer, because I was not going to let my kids sit there and be taught by that machine. Okay? For us, it was all about your walk with God. Because I knew that one day our kids were going to leave and they weren't going to be with us. And we had to instill in them what the Bible says. And that was one of the pillars within our home.
Did you want to talk about music also?
Oh, go ahead, jump on that.
Also, music was a big thing in our house, and we had a rule that if you had an hour of rap or whatever, then there better be some worship music going on too. In our house, though, you could hear.
Oh,
we had everything from opera to rap, but
yeah,
we had a thing that you can't listen more to worldly music than you do to worship music.
Yeah.
And sometimes we got kicked back on that, but for the most part,
yeah,
they were okay with that. And it was also like we also had time. My son was a gamer for a little while, and we said you only get an hour a day, and that's it.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, we would literally, in our house in Red Oak, we had a long hallway. It's like 26 feet long. It had a barrel ceiling, and it was like this echo chamber. Our bedroom was at one end, the kids was at the other, and I remember walking down there, and I'm thinking, I can't even figure out what kind of music, because our daughter was into musicals and shows and things like that, and you'd have Fiddler on the Roof, and you'd have Phantom of the Opera, and then you'd have hip hop on the other side, and then some alternative, and it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. So, but yeah, we made sure that we watched that.
Okay, number 6, we don't quit, nor do we do less than our best. We are always striving to do our best. What we meant in that is if our kids started, say, sports or whatever, you had to finish that season out. If you got mad or you didn't feel like you were getting enough playtime, and then you wanted to playing time, you wanted to quit in the middle of the season, that was not an option in our house. And we always, we never criticized our kids. We always said, just go out. You don't have to be the best at whatever you're doing. Just give your best. And so they did that. This picture here is kind of one of our favorites because this will tell you what our life was like. They're on 2 different fields, both playing goalie at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was our life right there. So
Yeah.
I don't think my son looked like he was too happy. He looked like he was
It does look like he was.
But also, we were dedicated to helping those who are less fortunate than we are, fostering a spirit of compassion and empathy within our family. So that's one of the things we tried to instill on them, especially growing up. You know how kids are. They make fun of the kid that's wearing the same outfit for a week or whatever. So we always made sure to talk with our kids about that and explain to them. I always took them to a lot of outreaches with me because that's kind of my heart. So we did a lot of taking food to the food pantries and just, helping our neighbors. If we knew our neighbor next door, kind of like we do now. We have an older man that lives behind us, and Joe just goes and mows his yard, and our kids have always kind of grown up in that. Mm-hmm. And number 8, which I think is very important, our goal in life is to be upstanding men and women of God, showing his character and integrity at all times. So we did this as a kid that, hey, what's God, watch what you're going to say, or I know you're angry, but integrity. And we even used this when Joe was sick. That was our going through his cancer the whole time. We said, we're going to walk through this with integrity. And I think our kids did actually very well through that. I think they did better than I did.
I was very, very proud of both of them. They were very, did very well.
And then number 10, we will not hang around the ungodly and be unequally yoked with unbelievers, nor will we dwell in the world system, but we will dwell in the system of God. And I think that kind of goes also back to where you can kind of tie that in with finding out where their giftings and callings are, because you're in with like-minded people. We were very fortunate that both of our kids, my daughter was in choir and theater, a lot of those kids were Christians. And a lot of the sports, the athletes, most of them are Christians too. So I think God blessed us in that area, that we never really had trouble with our kids kind of going left. But also they were very busy, so it was hard for them to get in trouble.
Yeah,
Keep them busy.
Well, I mean, when you're on 5 teams and traveling and everything, it's crazy. Couple points to keep in mind, and we already hit on that, so I'm not gonna hit it again. It's instill integrity. Integrity is huge. One of the things that I will say, you have no idea who's watching you. Everybody has somebody watching them. I don't care who you are. Everybody has somebody watching you. I tell the story of when I went off to college my first year, and I went off to college and I did everything I wasn't supposed to do. I didn't go to school. I chased after girls. I blew my scholarship, all my money. I was there running track. All I did was sit on the track and go to practice and run. And at the time, my junior and senior year, I was actually a FCA officer. And I didn't know this, but there was a kid who said, who came up to me. I came back after the end of my freshman year, and they asked me and a couple other guys that had gone off to college to speak at the FCA event. And I was getting ready to go up to speak, and this kid walks up to me and he goes, "Man, Joe, I've been watching you ever since I can remember." And this kid had watched me from my freshman year all the way into college. Had watched me play football, had watched me run track, everything that I had done. And I'm sitting there and he's telling me about how he has looked up to me. And I'm thinking, if he only knew, when I left the city, I got out from under my parents, I went left and acted stupid. And I remember getting up and was speaking, and I couldn't even tell you what I said, because I was remembering my witness was not one of integrity. Remember, integrity is what you do when nobody's watching. Integrity is what you do when nobody's watching. I can be the Christian if you're watching me. But what happens when I'm away somewhere or if I'm at home? We all have somebody watching us. You just don't know.
Okay. Number 5, instill a strong work ethic. That's one of the things with our kids, we don't slack in anything that we do. We try to bring Jesus and everything into it. And also, if you said something, you're going to stick by your word. You're not going to be a person that says something and then you do something else. You don't show up, whatever. Also, should we talk about chores and stuff here?
You go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We also had chores. If you talk to us kids, we always had a Sunday night
Family meeting.
family meeting.
I know when they watch this, they're going to be going like, oh, they're bringing that up.
And it was always get your chores done. That was like every week. But they come back now and tell us they are so glad that we did that because my son especially, he'll tell you I made him start washing his own clothes at 5 years old. That's not true. But
They were going back and forth on that the other night when we was talking with him.
But one thing, and it was one thing his mom always said, I'm not raising kids that don't know how to cook, clean, or sew.
Yeah.
And my son went off to college and taught his whole floor how to do laundry. So, and he can clean. He even said the other night, he goes, they have people come and clean for them now, but he's like, I actually think I clean better than they do. So, but to just be a man or woman of your word. If you say you're going to do it, show up. Don't just say I'm volunteering for something, and then that day you're going, I'm too tired, so I'm not going to do it. And we told them that too, like in sports and also any stuff that they were doing. Go above what you're asked to do, and I think that's what's proven them to be successful, both of them to be successful where they're at, because they both still do that to this day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they both have very strong work ethics, and one of the things that I remember whenever, I think Trey was seventh grader?
Yeah, probably.
He was in the seventh grade, and I remember one morning I'm asleep, and it's like, I think it was still dark.
It was 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 5:30 in the morning, and I hear this boom, boom, and I'm like going, what is going on? And I go outside, and he's outside shooting goals. He's shooting at the side of the house. He's got I guess he got like a little target, and he's got a soccer ball out there, and he's shooting at there practicing. And I said, son, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm just practicing, Dad. I want to get better. And I said, oh, okay. So I go in, and then I hear this bang, bang, bah, 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 and I go outside, and he was shooting baskets. At the time, he was playing soccer and basketball. And he would wake up that whole year every morning, and he would spend 30 minutes shooting with his soccer ball, 30 minutes dribbling and shooting baskets. He'd come in, take a shower, read his Bible, go to school. He did that for about a year. Our daughter was basically the same way. She would sing all the time.
You finally had to put a time limit on her after 10.
Yeah, because she wanted to be good, and she practiced and practiced and practiced, and she would practice hours. And yeah, we were like going, okay, 10 o'clock, everybody got to be quiet. But instill that work ethic in your children.
Oh, that's me. To be selfless and think about others. That was one thing we instilled in them, especially when they were in school, because they went to kind of a rough neighborhood. And so we would always say,
that's pretty crazy.
To be kind to others, because some of these kids are being brought up by a single mom. They don't have what you have. So just, you're not better than anybody else. Nobody's better than you. So be nice, just be kind. I mean, that's pretty easy. And, just look out for the little guy. One of the things I remember most about my daughter was that in junior high? When she kind of took, I can't even remember his name. Anyway, she had she she had a Down syndrome kid in her class.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember his name. I had it, but she always made sure, Jonathan,
Yep. Yep.
she always looked out for Jonathan. She made sure he got to class. She would sit with him at lunch.
Yeah.
Just, things like that. And I guess part of because I am a nurse, I think they got some of that from me because I do look out for the underdog. If there's an underdog in the crowd, I'm going to be the one that gets behind them. So, but I think that's just a good lesson for all of us is just be kind. It doesn't really cost that much.
Yeah.
Let the person that's got one thing get, in front of you at the grocery store or, open the door for the mom that's got 3 kids and they're screaming and hollering. So, anyway. You want to go with that one?
Yeah, we're going to jump in.
Number 9, which maybe we should have had this at the beginning, but before you get married, I think one of the most important things you need to do is talk about how many kids you want and how you're going to discipline them because that can become a big problem. And I don't think a lot of time. I mean, I've known of people that got married. One wanted 5, the other one didn't want any.
Yeah.
And then the way you discipline too can become a big issue because you may have one that's into the gentle parenting and the other one goes, no, they're getting a SWAT.
We're beating babies.
We're beating
babies in this house.
Yeah. So I think you need to, even before you get married, because that could be a deal breaker for some people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's something you need to, and I know a lot of people go, well, isn't that kind of forward? And it's like, no, you need to know those things going into marriage, what you're going to do.
I want to add to that because I found out something, and Jill told me this after, I think we were empty nesters whenever she told me this. Also, guys, talk with your spouse because Jill told me, she said, I really wanted to be a stay-home mom. And I didn't know that. And that, for me, for months, I carried that around. I thought, man, I took away from her something she wanted to do, and that was be home with the kids. And we both had to work. Well, we didn't have to. I could have worked more, or whatever, but have that conversation also. Do you want to work part-time? You want to be home with the kids? We basically fixed our schedule to where Jill would go to work at 7 p.m., come home at 7 a.m. I would take the kids to work with me at 7 a.m. I would keep them till about noon or so, and then she would get up from a nap, come get them, and that's what we did.
They were never in daycare.
Yeah, and we did that for
years.
Years. And I had no idea she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And that was something I wish I would have known. So make sure that conversation is also being had.
That's it, isn't it?
Nope.
No.
We got a couple photos. This is a photo that we had. The city we were in did a write-up on us. And it's not so much the write-up that they did. We always laugh at this photo because Max is the German Shepherd. Now, that's my dog. Max listen. But if you look real close,
Looked like she's choking the other.
Tiana is like choking Bandit because Bandit, he would always get up and run everywhere. And she's like going, she's kind of yoked him up real good. And he's sitting here like this going, I won't move. But yeah. But yeah. But that's, they did an article about us because, I forget why.
I don't know why they did it.
I
think about why. I don't even know why they did it.
Yeah, man, I can't remember why.
It wasn't on Trey coming back, was it?
I can't remember why now. Because I remember it was...
We're celebrities and we don't know why.
Yeah. Anyway, we had that down on us. The next slide. Always have fun.
Yeah.
You gotta have fun. We are, when we get together, we just believe in having fun, y'all. We just believe in just doing crazy stuff. This was every year for a long time. Gosh, you could see down there in the lower left, I think that was our first Christmas card picture.
The one with the Grinch.
Yeah, one with the Grinch. And you can see how young the kids are there. Trey, I think, is like a sophomore in college in this picture. Maybe
Which one?
older.
The big one?
Yeah. But we would take Christmas photos every year, and they just got progressively crazier. And people would like write us, or they would call and say, "Hey, are we getting a Christmas card this year? Because we look forward to you guys' Christmas cards." And so, yeah, we would always do that, and we'd have a blast. But
That was the funniest one.
that was the funniest one.
We had more fun taking that picture.
We
than
turned
did.
that into a photo shoot. Like, we've got probably about 20, 25 photos of us doing different instruments and Tiana singing, and which was funny because she's the vocalist out of the whole group. And the rest of us was up there trying to sing. It'd be like, no. But yeah, always have fun. Number 10, talk through the tough moments and the feelings that go with it. Give space for vulnerability. I know that's yours.
That's okay.
But I hit one of the things in talking with our kids, we found out things that we did really good. We found out things that we didn't do well. This is one of the things that we did not do well. We had family meetings and we would be together, but for them, they didn't feel like they had the opportunity to talk through major events that would happen in our lives. Like a couple of things that they alluded to was when my mom passed away, when my dad passed away, whenever I had cancer. And our daughter had even said that with each one of those events, it seemed like it just built up, the emotions built up, and we didn't have that space to be able to talk through that. And the thing that even our daughter said, she said, what probably we should have done was we should have had some counseling or something like that come in. Because all four of us deal with death differently. We all four deal with it differently. And that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. Everybody's going to deal with situations differently. You're not going to deal the same way. And I think it really would help our kids now if we would have helped them walk through some of those things. And so it's really important that, you give that space for your child.
Well, I think we had the mentality of, okay, we're going to just get through this. We're going to be strong. We're going to be brave. But we really never talked through our feelings, especially when Joe's mom died. It was sudden, wasn't expected.
Yeah.
Joe was actually out on the road, and I had to call him and tell him his mom had passed away.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know how to walk through that, and so we didn't know really how to walk our kids through it. And I agree with Tiana. I think maybe we should have had some family counseling because kids were only 10 and 12.
Yeah, they were 10 and 12.
And so that was their grandmother. And so, but they'd also had some other deaths along the way that I feel bad for my kids because they had a lot of trauma when they were young, but they had a kid that they used to walk to school with. He was killed in a home invasion.
Yeah.
My daughter also had a kid that she was in a choir with, that they were all day at a choir festival, and that night he went, and she hung out with him all day, and that night he killed himself. So we didn't do death very well in our family.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of things that I guess we thought they were doing okay when they weren't. So.
Even Trey said he had a friend that passed away. That talked
Oh yeah, had a car wreck.
Yeah,
When he
they
was
had
in
a
high
car
school.
wreck. Yeah.
So.
So yeah, but make sure that's something that you're aware of. Um, then I'll hit this real quick. Family dinners and family meetings. We always ate dinner together.
That's very important.
Family meetings, I drug my family to. Again, if they're watching it online, sorry guys. No, really, I'm not. Family meetings were times that we could come together and we could talk things out. And so yeah.
Eh,
The next thing is one-on-one time. When you have multiple kids, you need to spend time with them. You need to spend time with them individually. Back when, and this right here will tell you how long ago this was, McDonald's had this thing called 2 for $2. You could get 2 Big Macs for $2. And my son and I would go there before his games, and we would eat so many Big Macs. I don't see how he played ball. But we would eat Mac after Mac after Mac. But it was a time for us, to sit down and hang out. And our daughter, I would take her on dates. Guys, you need to take your daughter on dates and treat her like she's supposed to be treated. Open a door for her, pay for the meal. You better pay for the meal. It's your daughter, But show her how she's supposed to be treated, because she's not going to learn anywhere else. And so that's probably why our daughter.
That's why she's not married, because you treated her too good. She can't find nobody.
Yeah. Well,
She'll
she
tell
told
you
me
that. She'll tell you, I haven't met anybody that's been worth my time.
Yeah. I actually asked her. Sorry, T. I actually asked her a couple years ago. I said, T, how come you haven't dated? She said, I have a list. And I thought, oh God. And then after we talked a little bit, she said, I have 2 things on my list. And I was like, 2? You can't find no guy to fulfill 2? And so she told me, she said, I can't find nobody that loves Jesus more than I do. And I can't find nobody that's going to treat me better than you did. And I was like, that poor guy is not going to treat you like your daddy. I mean, come on. His bank account be broke. But yeah, it's instill in them. That's when you can instill in your kids values. Let's see, we got the next. The next one is just a picture of Trey and his family. We're going to have updated, but that's Trey, Michelle, and Joseph the fourth is here, and Isaiah is on the right. So, yeah, we call them Seth and Zay. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and I needed my glasses for that. Okay, so winding down, a couple things. Regardless of what your child does in adult life, you as a parent must convey 2 things. The first thing is you love them unconditionally regardless of what they do. One of the things that and I thought a lot about this probably was when our son went into college, because that's when we started to become empty nesters. And I was like, how can I still parent my kids when they're going through this transitional phase? And I came up with these 2 things. Regardless of what they do, unless they break the law, but regardless of what they do, I will love them for it. I will love them for who they are, and I'll support them. And Jill also. The second thing is let them know you are proud of their ability to choose and stand in their convictions, even if it's something that you don't believe in. Okay? You gotta give your child space as an adult to make their own decisions and chart their own path. Okay? You may not agree. We're blessed that our kids are Christians and they stand with God. I think it would be hard if we had one that was a Muslim and one that was a Hindu. I'd be going like, oh, Jesus. I still would allow them to make the choice. I still would stand with them and say, hey, I don't agree, but you know what? You're sticking with your beliefs, and I love you for it. Never turn your back on your kids. It's one of the things that I work hard at, because I don't want my kids ever to think, or even my wife, I don't want them to think that I don't love them or I'm not proud of them. And that goes for our daughter Michelle. She is just as much one of our kids as the other two are. And that's our belief. Our belief is, I don't even use the term daughter-in-law with her. She is part of us. She is in our family. And we treat her just like we treat our daughter Tiana. Love her just as much. We're proud of the things she's doing. She's doing a great job with our grandchildren. I mean, she's doing a super job. And I'm thankful for that. The next photo or slide is just Tiana. This year, she got Teacher of the Year. She got Teacher of the Month. She got that's her her theater kids, and she got that award. I forget what that is.
It's the Betty Buckley Awards in Dallas. They do like a Tony Awards for the whole state, for the whole high school, and she got the Teacher of the Year for that. And this was their first year that they gave it away.
Yeah.
So pretty proud of her.
Yeah, and she's she's been in high school teaching 2 years.
Yeah.
And she told us, she said, she didn't even prepare no speech or nothing because she said, I've only been doing this for 2 years, and there's people that have been doing this for decades. And her kids knew about it. Her kids kept telling her, Miss Tiana, you need to get a speech together, maybe. And she's like, oh, I'm not gonna win. And they called her name, and they like, ah. But yeah, that's really awesome. Let's see. Understand that you are raising an individual and not a clone. We talked about that. We'll go on. And one more photo. This is update. That's us this Christmas. And to the left is the new addition, Soraya Ray. That is the young lady that stole my heart. That baby is just, ooh, I can't wait to see her. Jill's already been up to see them. Hopefully I can get up there sometime this year. But that's us this Christmas. A couple of things to think about. Mike Tyson said this: everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Think about it. All I'm saying with that is I follow up. Give yourself some grace. You did the best you knew how to do. There are no manuals for parenting. No manuals for laying the foundation for a family. And that's one reason why I say this is something that you need to take notes, because there isn't. Listen to people who have success stories. I mean, even if somebody's got kids and their kids are crazy, sit down and talk with them, because they can tell you what not to do. They can say, I just let my kids do what they want to. That's the reason why they're out there doing what they want to, But yeah, so. Then, there we go. That's the last slide. That's us. That's my son and I. We went to an Oklahoma football game. That was really a blessing. I'm an Oklahoma fan. He's a Nebraska fan. And he went up there with me, excuse me. That's Trey and Tiana right there. He's got his glasses flipped up. That's when we went to visit Duke, whenever he we were getting ready to drop him off. Tiana singing Star Spangled Banner. That's us at his graduation. And those are pictures of us just as family. Make time for family. Make time. Make time for family. Okay. Well, that's it. All right.